We're live! I just got the notification on my phone.
Yay! That was really quick. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Biannual Bibliothon group book live show for Flame in the Mist by Renee, Adieh. You might notice there's like very few of us right now. We have Kassie on her way. She'll be jumping on any minute. The other ladies, unfortunately, didn't get to finish the book. But that's okay. They're going to come in and watch later. Kelly is almost done the book, which I'm sure she'll talk about in a minute here, so she may not stay the whole way through.
And I have to leave early just because I've got to be somewhere, so I will be leaving like halfway through if I do disappear and y'all don't know where I went.
Yeah, so that's okay. That's cool. So yeah, we're excited to have you here. I cannot believe that this is the end of the Bibliothon. Like, I don't know.
So fast now.
I don't know about you guys, but did you guys feel like this round was like super high vibe? Like,
yes, I had so much fun. It was one of the best Bibliothons in my opinion.
Yeah, I had so much fun. So I just quick little intro here. We're just going to talk about a quick announcement, and then we're going to get into non-spoilers of the Flame in the Mist, and then we'll warn you when we're going to go into like the spoiler portion. So if you're jumping on, you haven't read it yet, don't worry, we'll warn you before we go into spoilers. But the quick announcement we want to say is for the winners of the Biannual Bibliothon, we obviously need some time to go through the videos, pick our winners. There are quite a few to go through, so we don't have our winners picked yet, but we will soon. We don't have an exact date, but we will get them out there. The Instagram challenge winners should be announcing starting today. So every day, the winners will be announced. So like, how do I explain this? Like day 1 winner would be today, day 2 tomorrow, etc., etc. And then the blogging challenges will start next Sunday because it takes the bloggers a little bit more time to figure out their winners as well. Instagram is kind of quick and easy. Yeah. Anything else, ladies?
No, I think that's it for now. I guess we can start off with like our non-spoilery initial thoughts. Brittni, what's your order?
From left to right is Emma, Kelly, me.
Okay, so I really loved Flame in the Mist. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars because I thought it was such a fun read. It was definitely not what I was expecting. Like, I really didn't anticipate the story to go the route that it did, but I had so much fun reading it. Like, I pushed myself to read it in a day because I was enjoying it so much. And I thought it was really cool and really well written, and it was just an all-around fun story.
So for me, it was kind of difficult for me, because I'm listening to it on audiobook, and the audiobook is absolutely fantastic. I will say that it really makes you just feel very immersed into the story. However, for me, the book started off really, really slow, and I'm just at like the midpoint now, so it's starting to pick up, but I found myself just not wanting to read the book all week. Like, I just did not want to listen to the audiobook. And so where I'm at right now, I'd probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I know that if I continue on, I'm probably going to like it a lot more, but I think my problem is I'm not in the mood for fantasy at all, and so it's really ruining my experience of the book because I just don't want to read fantasy. And so I decided not to force myself to just rush through this book because I had to have it finished, because if I'm going to read it, I want to really enjoy it and be in the mood for that fantasy. So I know it's going to be a great book when I'm in the mood to read it, but I'm not enjoying it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find like if you're not in the mood, it's so
hard.
you have to force yourself to read it. Yeah. I rated Flame in the Mist. I just finished last night. I think 3.754 stars, probably 3.75 for me. Same as Kelly, I found it a little bit hard to get into in the beginning. I've been in a huge reading slump this year. I've only read like 3 books this year, so if I read a book, I was happy. So I think as using this book to get out of my slump may have affected it too, like you're saying, Kelly. But then it got really hype, really fast paced, really engaging. I really, really enjoyed it. And so by like 3.754 stars, like I think that's still a good rating. I really enjoyed the book. And I don't think it's a standalone, so I'm excited to continue on with the rest of the series. So yeah, that's my like general thoughts.
I actually see a few people saying they didn't like it. I'm surprised because I heard a lot of great hype for this book, but I'm sorry if you guys didn't enjoy it. I thought it was like a fun fantasy series.
Mm-hmm. I found like I'm usually like a really slow reader, and I found this book was super fast paced. Like if I was not in like a reading slump kind of vibe, I feel like I could have read it in like a day easily. Like it was so quick. Like the font was a good size. Yeah, I was like, yeah. And just going through the a lot of questions here. Let's see.
Yeah. You guys can definitely send us your questions if there's anything that you want us specifically to comment on. You can either use the live chat that's next to the YouTube like live stream that we're watching. Oh, good. Somebody said they loved it. I'm so glad somebody else enjoyed it.
Oh, 1 star. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like I can see why. Like that's why I think I'm struggling with the 3 and 4 thing. Like I really loved it, but there's things that like I was like, it's kind of like, like I can't pinpoint what it is.
That's exactly my thing. Is I think that it was just, I don't know, something about. I think it's one of those books that you really have to be in that kind of mood for that exact type of book. And so, like, especially with it having a slow start, like I saw a lot of people throughout the Bibliothon commenting that it's just really slow, but then once you get towards that ending point, it really picks up. So I think it's just one of those kind of mood type books. You have to really be feeling it.
Yeah. The other thing that I would say is like I'm used to reading like more high epic fantasy, like really like intense world building, and I really like that with my fantasy. So I think when I read this, it was a good point for a reading slump, but at the same time, maybe that's what was missing for me, like all those like filler details of like the area and the plot and like all that kind of stuff. I think maybe that's kind of what I was missing, because it's so much what I'm used to with fantasy books, like kind of like Sarah J. Maas, like very descriptive kind of words. Although I will say one of my favorite parts of this was the quotes. Like I want to go back and like what is the tag all the quotes. I love them.
Yeah, I also think like a lot of it has to do with like Renee Adieh's specific style of writing and the way that she writes her books. Like you definitely can't jump into her books like after a reading slump, and you can't read them when you don't want to. It's just like her writing is so immersive, and you have to be immersed to fully appreciate it, I think. Like I don't think you can like half-heartedly read a Renee Adieh book. So I think that, like if like maybe for some like it may not have been like the best read-a-thon read because it is like so super involved fantasy. So I think that maybe has something to do with it, is that like it's just like her specific writing style and the way of her writing. Like I'm not defending anything, but I'm saying like you know, I understand why people didn't like it for those reasons, because it's like I think it's just part of the way that she writes her books.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard. It's not something that everyone can get into.
Well, I think that's exactly what my issue is. I think if I read this at a different time, because I just finished a really great contemporary read, and then I also read The Seafarer's Kiss. So I was just in kind of that feeling of book, and so just jumping into that one was so not what I was feeling at all after reading those two books. And so I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, like a lot of people say it was slow too, but at the same time, I felt like it was kind of fast paced. I don't know. Like it.
I think there were parts that felt fast and there were parts that felt slow.
Yeah. So someone said, Drew asked, should they continue because it's really slow for me? I'm assuming in the beginning, but so like for me, I would say yes, because a lot of people are finding it slow in the beginning and then it really picks up. So, but.
Up myself, but other people thought it didn't.
And I feel like it doesn't take long for it to pick up, because really like I'm at a point now to where I feel like it's picked up a lot. So I feel like you just have to get through those first few chapters of her not being, I don't know what's spoilery and what's not, so I don't want to say anything, but just get through those first few chapters.
You mean like with the Black Clan or whatever?
Yeah, once she gets to the point where she's dealing with the Black Clan, I feel like it picks up a lot.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think so too. Are there any more like non-spoilery thoughts, or do we want to just jump into spoilers?
I'm just quickly reviewing, seeing if anyone has any questions.
I will say the things that I liked about it, non-spoiler wise, I really liked the characters. I really enjoyed just, I don't know, the idea of her trying to make herself into this more manly perspective and try to make herself appear to be a man was very interesting to read, and I enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed getting the perspective. I don't know if it builds up to where there's more perspectives than just the two, her and her brother, but I enjoyed getting to see her brother's perspective in the parts that I did read. I felt
acid too. You know, I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Part of the story just would have felt incomplete without it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really was like so much more than just her, you know,
Right.
just her infiltrating, you know. So I definitely agree.
Yeah. I really liked the characters, but I didn't like love any of them. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, I love this person. Like but I liked all the characters, really.
I agree. Somebody said, do you think that it's do you think it was like good enough to be a Mulan retelling? It's not actually a Mulan retelling. Mulan is Chinese, and this was a Japanese story. The only similarity is that it's about a girl who dresses as a boy. That's the only similarity, and the fact that it's an East Asian story. So I think a lot of it got lost in marketing. I don't know if it was the publisher or like I know Fairy Loot said that it was kind of like Mulan when they had it in their box and stuff, but it's not a Mulan retelling. The only similarity is that it's two East Asian girls dressed as puzzle boys.
Yeah, it was very much mismarketed because even Amazon calls it a Mulan retelling of Amazon.
Publishers.
That's so funny. I have to admit, I've never seen Mulan.
Oh my gosh. You need to fix that immediately.
So
for sure.
I'm like, I don't know. I guess I should watch that.
You have to have the experience of I'll make a man out of you. You just have to.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to.
I will say, although it's not a Mulan retelling, I was listening, like in my head. That's all I was thinking while reading.
What are your thoughts on the ending? Okay, someone asked about the ending, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
I think Cassie's here.
Hi.
Hello.
Good timing, because we haven't gotten to spoilers yet, so you can.
Oh, good.
Feelings.
Oh.
Welcome.
Hi. For Flame in the Mist. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Just my feelings about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just like non-spoiler thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked it. I for sure enjoyed it. It was a little slow at the beginning, and then it got better and better. To be clear, I've had 2 mimosas this morning, so like I apologize. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was like definitely a slow start. I don't know. So it took me a minute, but I ended up really enjoying it, and I definitely felt the Mulan retelling feels that people were questioning about. Yeah, I liked it.
What's your star rating?
Yeah.
Did I give it a 4? I think I gave it a 4. I think. Not a complete 5 because it didn't blow me out of the water. I like saw a lot of it coming.
Yeah.
But definitely still enjoyable. So I think I gave it a 4 if I remember correctly.
Yeah. We were just saying like a lot of people on the chat were not really impressed with it, and it was a slow start, and it wasn't really a Mulan retelling. And so that's kind of the stuff we've covered, so it's perfect points.
Oh, people didn't see the Mulan stuff? Like, I for sure saw the Mulan retelling, to me. I felt that. But, I mean, I guess, I don't know.
For me, it was just the feeling of it as opposed to it being, like, on details related to Mulan. Because, like when I read, like, A Court of Thorns and Roses, like, there's elements that are, like, this is following the storyline of Beauty and the Beast. But I think like, it was more just, like, the feeling of Mulan, like, when she's, like, training with them and stuff.
Yeah. That's true. There wasn't a lot of, like, the, like, montage-y scenes of Mulan, I guess, in it.
Yeah, do we have any questions on non-spoiler stuff, or should we move into spoilers?
No, I think we should move into spoilers. I think.
Well, since you guys are moving into spoilers, this will be my cue to hop on out. But I really enjoyed the Bibliothon. Thank you guys so much for participating, and have fun with the live show.
Bye, Kelly.
Bye, Kelly. Have a good day.
Alrighty, so let's jump into spoilers. I know Christina from Proud Lion asked us what our favorite scene was. Does anyone have like a favorite scene?
Ooh, yes.
What?
Go.
The scene when they go to the like tea house.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so cool. I was trying to figure out if it was supposed to be a whorehouse.
Yeah.
Is that the point? Like, was it supposed to be
I
one
think
of those?
so. That's what I got.
It felt like that, but that they were being too YA about it. So I'm not sure what was going on.
Well, what I kind of felt was, have any of you read Memoirs of a Geisha?
No.
I have not.
Okay, or seen the movie?
No.
Okay, well, it has these vibes. It actually goes way more in depth into like that kind of vibe, and I kind of pictured this. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like it's not really like a whorehouse, but it's like they're expressing like their arts and through beauty, and like, so it's not really. I can't explain it, but I feel like it's like a middle ground.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Has anyone watching this seen Memoirs of a Geisha? So they, because then that would make sense. I like the tea house.
Like, what I loved about the tea house was, like, I remember I was reading, like, this scene in the bath, and I had, like, what is her brother's name? Kenshin?
Yeah, Kenshin.
Kenshin.
Yeah, so Kenshin was, like, on his way to the tea house, and then it's revealed that, like, Mariko's also going to the tea house, and I'm like, ah! Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like that excitement of seeing the two storylines pick up, and I knew that like that was going to be like a big scene, and I just had like so much fun at that point of the story. It was like, oh my god, this is going to get crazy, shit's going to hit the fan. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
I feel like that's where it started to pick up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think what really made this story pick up is that we started getting the multiple like points of views from everyone.
I agree. Yeah, I think we were saying in the non-spoiler section that like we thought that was a big asset to the story.
Yeah. I don't, for scenes, like I honestly can't like pinpoint a favorite one, but I like both those scenes you guys talked about. I can't, there is one chapter that was like 2 pages that really captivated me, and I'm still kind of confused.
Which
the one with, was it the one with the wife or maybe?
Yeah, and like the old man, and like at the end, like it's like 2 pages. Oh, what did they? It confused me, but it intrigued me. Like I think that's what's going to be taken into the next story.
Which part is it again?
With the wife and the old man. What was the old man's name?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but that, if anyone in the chat knows, let me know. I can't.
There was like this moment of, we like saw the consort's point of view, and it starts talking about magic, and it just, like, for me it was almost kind of, I couldn't decide if I liked it or not, because it took me out of the story that we were watching. And
that was one thing. It was the Emperor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was when I was like finally figuring out that this was not a one book.
Yeah.
It was going to be a series. And I was like, no, don't do that to me.
The name of the one was Nobutada.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Wasn't it like it was the woman that, like his mistress? Wasn't it like mistress? Yeah.
The consort, who is the mother of the man that what's-her-face is supposed to be getting married to.
I remember.
I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it. But it was, I don't know, like I felt like it was like intriguing but very random.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me too. Like it made me excited, the fact that we were going to get more in the rest of this series, but also, why are we learning about this? Because it completely didn't feel like the rest of the book.
I got it. Her name's Genmei. Majesty Yamato Genmei, Empress of Wa.
Yes.
See, like, we're all confused.
Yeah. And I'm, like, still confused because, like, obviously the Emperor and everyone had something to do with this, like, weird convoy attack that actually happened. It was not the Black Clan, but, like, we still don't really know who was making that happen. Whose purpose? What purpose did it serve is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
No,
like,
I
sorry,
feel
go ahead. Go
That
ahead.
was I feel like that's like a thing. Like I had a similar feeling in the Wrath and the Dawn at the end of the Wrath and the Dawn when like the magic started putting in like out of nowhere. Like the majority of this book didn't have a lot of magic. I think there was some like in the beginning when she was first like in the watering hole with them. Like there's a little bit, and then it was at the end. So like the whole book didn't really have much magic in it, and then like it started playing again.
And it was literally like that chapter, like Eva Mule reads, I'm sorry if I butchered that middle name, but she said, I didn't understand the scene with the mirror and with the fox. And the fox was in that chapter too. Like it was like 2 pages of like this magic and then the fox will lead its way. And I was like, what? Who's the fox? I'm confused.
Yeah, and then later we find out that someone like calls themselves a fox. I don't remember who it is.
It was... Wasn't it like...
Was it the consort?
Renamandu? Was that who it was?
I can't remember.
See, that's confusing. I'm so confused. Can anyone confirm this in the chat?
No, I honestly got one of my negatives for the book was that I got confused with a lot of the characters sometimes. Like,
yeah.
The first part of the book, I could not tell the difference between Okami and like the head of the Black Clan.
Ranmaru.
Yeah, I did not know who was who until like the scene. I got so confused for a
Yeah, and when she would randomly call one of them, which is Okami, the wolf, I was like, wait, which one's the wolf again?
Yeah. I got confused with that too. And it was like Renmandu or whatever it is. And then the 2 brothers, like those 3 R names. I was like.
Yeah, Renshin, Roku, and something.
Renmandu.
Yeah.
Okay, the chat's crazy. I'll take a look if you guys.
Megan asked, "Is it third person omniscient?" Because wait, where did it go? Because I couldn't figure out whose brain we were in sometimes, and I thought we were with Okami's head, and that would have been a good way to get some LGBT vibes. It wasn't third person omniscient. It was first person past, but we switched points of view. We've seen Kenshin's, we've seen Mariko, thank you. And then we got like the Emperor's point of view, we got his consort's point of view, we got the Empress's point of view. I think we got Roku's point of view at one point. We get a bunch of points of view, but they're all first person past.
Yeah. Speaking of LGBT rep, somebody asked in the beginning, like, wouldn't it have, like, do you think it should have been more diverse regards to sexuality? I mean, I have totally headcanoned Okami as pansexual. I don't know about anything else, but, I mean, I have without a doubt, I do not think they're going to use those terms in the second book. A lot of high fantasy books don't, even though they can. A lot of them don't. But, I mean, like, to say he's straight, but he started having feelings for someone who he knew as a man. Like, he clearly is not totally heterosexual in my mind.
Yeah, I had those vibes too. I was like, oh, yeah. So I definitely got those references, but I don't think they
It was interesting, though, to me that there was that moment that, like, he was talking about how, like, I feel this way and blah, blah, blah. And so, like, you could maybe get some LGBTQ vibes. But then you find out that Ranmaru knew the entire time that Mariko was a girl. So did Okami actually know that she was a girl and maybe didn't want to admit it? Was there like hints that Ranmaru was giving him that she wasn't who she seemed, that he was trying to pick up on and hadn't picked up on yet? So like maybe he didn't grasp all the way that this girl is playing a boy, and then obviously he's like, he feels betrayed at the time. But like I feel like there could be non-LGBTQ things going on that are just like these random like Ranmaru hints, because Ranmaru and Okami have a weird relationship too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like, I can see why it would be great if he just was interested in this person regardless of their sex. But also, I think that we might be putting in what we want rather than what's there sometimes. I don't know. It's just a theory.
I mean, I never got the vibe that he knew. Like, I thought that he didn't until he found out. But, I mean, honestly, I'd be really pissed at Renee Adieh if, like, this wasn't addressed, because that feels a lot like queer baiting to me.
Well, yeah, there's that whole thing too. Because, like, it felt like that at first. And then once we find out that Ranmaru knew that she was always Mariko, then I was like, wait, that has to mean that Okami had to have some hints. Like, there's no way that Ranmaru kept that a secret this entire time, even if he didn't say outright, this is Mariko, or that she's a girl. He, like, had to have given him some sort of, like, well, see what's going on over there. She's hiding something. He's hiding something. So, like, I don't know. It could go that way, and it's not that would make it the best, obviously, because that would suck. But I feel like that could just as easily be what ends up happening.
Yeah, I think we need a little bit more clarification on, like, these details. You know what I mean? Like, I think they were written, and, like, I think they were supposed to be clear, but I think for a lot of us, like, it's just, like, not as clear.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that could also be setting it up so that in the next book we get more information.
Because I wonder if it's going to be 2 or 3, because I felt like there was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of, like, holes, and then I just thought it was me, honestly, that I was like, am I just not understanding this part or whatever, or like, where did this come from, or who's that person? I was like, maybe it's just not me fully into the book, but
it feels like a very intricate web that she is starting, and she hasn't given us any answers yet, is what I feel like.
And I think going in thinking it was a standalone for all of us kind of threw us all for a loop.
Yes, seriously. I was like, wait, what?
I don't know if I thought it was standalone originally, but I knew before I finished that it was a duology, or like I thought it.
When we started getting all of that stuff with the Emperor and things, I was like, oh, I feel like this is no longer a standalone.
Sarah Ellis says, I think Ranmaru may have had a reason to not tell Okami for the same reason that Okami didn't tell him that Mariko was a girl. So
for killing her.
Yeah. Also, Nikki and Amy, she's one of our blogger hosts. Hi, Nikki, Amy. It says Nikki, Amy. Speaking of Ranmaru and Okami's weird relationship because of their fathers, I got super confused by that. What actually happens with the fathers?
It made sense to me at the time, but I read it so fast that I don't think I heard.
Okay.
Somebody clarified. Cat Q's Coffee reads, says, as far as my understanding goes, their fathers and the Emperor were friends, and he betrayed both of them, and both of them died.
Yeah, and at first, we think that Ranmaru and Okami are the sons of the opposite father that they actually are sons of. So we originally think that Okami's father is the one that betrayed Ranmaru's father for the Emperor, which is the Emperor. But it actually ends up being that Ranmaru's father is the one that betrayed Okami's father. I think I got that right, but I might have switched them. The point is that they switched. Whichever one we originally thought is wrong, they switched.
No, I got what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know.
They switched their names, I think, because they're trying to protect whichever one it was that got betrayed in the first place. They're trying to protect which one that is.
Because I didn't know which father was which. Yeah, I feel like there was just confusions in general with a lot of the characters and who is with who, and I really hope that the next book really confirms this, where we're just like, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. I think some of it also is the fact that, at least for me, I don't frequently encounter so many Japanese names, and I think it was easy for me to confuse a lot of them, not because it was necessarily not well written, but I think part of it is just that it's so easy for me to distinguish Chris and Peter, and it's not as easy for me to distinguish Ren and Ranmaru. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree. I was going to say that too. That because of the names, we might be getting more confused than we would if it was not Japanese names, which is not to say that it's not good that she used those, because it's a Japanese story. Good on you for choosing Japanese names. Congratulations, you did great. But also, it makes my brain hurt sometimes.
My brain hurts now. Can someone explain what Okami was talking about when he was talking about lying to Muraku about his sister? I think he was wanting to see if he could trust her. From Jordan Wesson.
He lied a lot, I feel.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of mistrust in this story.
Yeah, a lot.
Like, which part when he lied about his sister? Are you talking about when he lied and said, and just didn't tell her that she was his sister? Or are you talking about when he lied and said, wait, isn't there a part where he, like, lies and says that, I don't remember.
He doesn't say it's straight up his sister?
He does eventually, but like he takes his time.
We, like, think that it's like
his lover,
something, and then he clarifies later that it's actually my sister, and she's like, "Oh, well, I got jealous for nothing." Like,
well, maybe he was just trying to protect her, right? Because they're in like not.
I think it has to do with protection that he didn't, because if you're going to be involved in this like super like assassin guild sort of thing, you know what I mean, like this huge clan that presents a huge danger to your family, so I can understand why he wouldn't want anyone knowing that, like, this is my sister, because you know what I mean, like, that makes her a target to get to him.
Yeah. And also they're keeping this big lie at that point that who's which father of son, thing. So like whose father is hers, because right now we think it's the opposite, but then it ends up being the opposite. Blah, 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 blah.
I think I like
it's so confusing.
You guys, I'm not kidding. I think I actually completely missed this switch thing because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it happens towards the end. So like right at the beginning, we think that Okami's father betrayed Ranmaru's father in giving him to the king. Then he felt bad and blah blah blah. So we think that Okami is trying to like make it up to Ranmaru for the father's betrayal.
Right.
At the time. But then it ends up, we find out that Ranmaru is actually the son of the man who betrayed Okami's father to the emperor. That happens at the very end when Kenshin and the two sons of the emperor, they come to the Black Clans area and they're like trying to take Mariko back. Right. And she's hiding, blah, blah, blah. And then she ends up making Ren, right? She makes Ren take her out as if blah, blah, blah. I have to mute this for a second because I'm going to say bye to my friend. Hold on.
Yeah, I think like what's frustrating for me with this live show is everything made sense to me as I'm reading it, and like, I don't remember this. Like I really like I was confused in the beginning, like with like the names and stuff, but everything else made sense to me while I was reading, and now.
Emma, I feel like exactly the same way. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see what's going on here.
Not everyone's actually like having a conversation in the chat though, because normally it's just you guys asking us questions. So you're honestly helping us a lot here too.
Yeah. Well, this just shows too, like, maybe what did you rate it again, Emma?
I think I just said 5, but I think I actually rated it a 4.5 because I forgot about the fact that I was confused with the names and stuff, and I was like, this LGBT, like, it feels LGBTQ, but it's like not confirmed. And another thing that like I wasn't totally happy with is I felt that the feelings for the Mariko and Okami came out of nowhere. Like I thought like that chapter where she started being interested in him and then they were kissing and I was like, okay, like I guess.
I totally get that. And at first when that happened, I was like, no, he's not a good guy. And then it just all of a sudden just came out of nowhere and then he's great. And although I really did enjoy his character. I really liked him.
Yeah, I think once we got to know him, I liked him a lot more. But like as Mariko was still finding her place in there, I was like, what does she see in him? And like it felt like it was gonna be like unrequited at first, but then all of a sudden they're just like kissing and I'm like, that's fine. I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah. How many Kenshin's love interest?
Okay, I'm back.
Oh yeah, what did happen to Kenshin's love interest? Yeah, she died. She got mad that Kenshin wasn't helping the slaves and the servants. And then she's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And then she walks in and then the building like collapsed.
But then the consort has her.
What? Did I miss that too?
At the very end, the consort has her in like that weird trance thing.
What?
Oh my god, I'm gonna find it. Keep talking. I think that's what they're talking about because I read that question. And
my aesthetic is for me going, what?
What was I doing when I was? You just saw when I finished this book though. I was half asleep. So hopefully.
I have to say, I did almost cry when when the building fell.
Yeah.
And, I was like, oh my god, like this is a horrifying thing. But yeah, I remember her like being at the end of the story. Like so much shit happened in the story. But I'm like,
I know.
It was rushed. Like I don't think we've ever done a live show where we've been like flipping through the pages trying to find parts to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think also like maybe while I was reading, I think I got really consumed with Mariko's storyline that like I wasn't paying as much attention to some of the other things. But yeah, she's like alive. Cat's Cute Coffee Read says she's in some sort of coma, and Jordan Wesson says that half of her face was burned. So she is alive.
Oh, now I remember.
But she's in like, it feels like she's in that same like alternate universe that the fox came from. Like there's this moment when the consort like goes into this area, she finds the fox, she brings it out, the fox goes and does something. I don't know who the fucking fox is. Jesus. But it like felt like a different universe to me. Like she went somewhere magically and brought these people out, the fox out. And then now I feel like the girl, I don't remember her name, but the servant girl that Kenshin's in love with is there, wherever there is. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know.
That would be really cool and so up my alley if like all this stuff was explained and like goes into this world. But
like
I remember the part now though. You know what's funny though? I didn't click it was her for some stupid reason.
Somebody said I thought it was Mariko that the building fell on, so I don't think you're alone.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like
right here. Okay, so Kanako, that's the consort's name. Couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
A mirrored surface shimmered to life before her. Kanako touched a finger to its center and watched 8 concentric circles ripple from the point of contact. She stepped through the mirrored surface into a garden absent color. Everything around her was rendered in shades of gray and white, of black and silver. Her skin was milky, her kimono a stark contrast, a layered arrangement of painted silk. A man waited beneath a yuzu tree, its citrus scent wafted towards her sharp and fresh all at once. Blah, 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 blah. And then the person asks, am I to reemerge from this place? That's when she finds the fox. But there's also a spot, that's where I thought that the girl is hanging out in, this like mirror area. It's this alternate place.
It's so random.
I love Renee Adieh's.
Yes.
But I do not like the way she writes her magic systems because I just don't understand them, and they're so wishy-washy. You know what I mean?
Well, it was just kind of like plopped in there. That's the thing. It wasn't like this is what's happening and this is where it's going. It's just like she walks into this 8-figured thing.
And no one else has magic. No one else talks about magic. No one else knows magic exists. So then suddenly we're in this moment of magic and you're like, wait, I've been spending this entire thing thinking it was kind of mostly a historical fiction. And then all of a sudden there's magic in it. And I'm like, what? Where? Who? How? When? Why? All the things. All the questions.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like, I went into it thinking that it wasn't a fantasy. And I thought it just took place in like a fantasy Japan.
So I just saw some people say I didn't think that was her. So I'm not alone. Like I remember that part. I just didn't. I was like, what do you mean?
That it was that girl.
I think a lot of us enjoyed this book, but we just didn't comprehend everything about it.
Who is calling a reread?
Oh God, not me. I don't want to reread it. No thanks.
Like the second half. Like when you actually just read that, Cassie, like I was like, oh, okay. Like I feel like I just have to like read the ending again or something.
That's true. The ending felt the most weird because it like jumps and it feels fast. And then also we were reading it for a read-a-thon, so we were probably rushing by then because it's like 20 pages left. Let's go.
Yeah. And I finished it last night when I was like half asleep. I think that's why.
And Lisa and Things just brought up the tree sucked the blood from the person in the beginning.
Oh.
Like that's the thing I understand.
Yeah, that made complete sense to me.
I like that stuff. But like it didn't play a role until like so much longer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like that was the stuff that I thought, it felt more magical realism, which I completely love that like weird almost realistic, but then there's some weird shit going on. But then all of a sudden we're like in a mirror and there's like people being held in the mirror. What? Yeah. Where are we going?
So do you think there's like shapeshifters and all that gonna happen? Like, because with the wolf is, I feel like, is a person and then it shapeshifts into like a fox or something.
Well, the wolf is Okami. He's the wolf.
Oh, not the wolf. Sorry, fox. Fox.
Oh yeah, I think the fox is a person.
Yeah, it's like with magic, right? That's what it's a person with magic.
Yeah, and like the wolf thing, talking about magic too. Like I completely understood the weird wolf thing. Like I got that was going to be a part of it. What lost me was when all of a sudden the consort, I think it's the consort, not the wife of the emperor, that has all this crazy magic. And I'm like, wait, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Too much.
I think had the magic been taken out, it would have been a great story.
Yeah, it like
and then maybe later.
like that little bit of magic, the wolf, the weird tree that sucks the blood out of people, like all of that I felt fine with. It was like the sudden act of choosing that there's magic from the consort of the emperor and no one knows about it except for the consort of the emperor. It felt like too put into a ball.
I feel like it would be like a really good like trilogy. You introduce it in the middle and then at the end it like all concludes, right? Like I think it'd be a really good trilogy if that part was left out till later.
Yeah, maybe. I
don't know if it's a duology or trilogy. I could see a duology because she did that for Wrath of the Dawn.
I think it's a duology.
Nikki Amy asked, is Ranmaru the snake that warned her? Where else was the snake? For a while, I thought the snake and the fox were the same person. That would make sense if he was the snake because he ends up being the father that betrayed everyone.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense. I didn't grasp that. I forgot that the snake existed.
The Black Clan leader is
Kenshin the fox? Ooh.
I think that's an interesting theory.
It could be.
He could be, although I don't.
But he wouldn't know then. I don't think he would know he was a fox then.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the fox might be her, or I don't know.
No.
I made that up. Never mind. I don't know.
Jordan Watson also says, what if the fox is the Black Clan leader because his eyes glowed yellow? Because isn't he the yellow eyes that were following her?
I think so. Maybe what ends up happening is I thought we call Okami the wolf because we think he's the wolf. But what really happens is they switch at one point. So maybe it's actually Renmaru that's the wolf. But I don't think he's the fox. I think he's the wolf if he's anything.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Everything is confused. We're making more questions, not any answers.
I sound like we're just like in the chat.
So Allison Rocks 97 says no, Kenshin sees the fox, so he can't be him.
Yeah, true. I think. I don't even know if I remember that myself, actually.
I apologize for the most confusing live show of all time.
I think this is so funny that like we're just going back and forth. Maybe this is it. No, this is it. No.
So Ranku is fake. Sarah Ellis, fake Ranku is the wolf because he knew Morocco was a girl. He saw her after the attack on the convoy.
Wait, fake Ranmaru? Isn't that real Ranmaru? I'm confused. This is making me more confused, not less confused.
And then, so Radiant is the fox.
Raiden could be the fox. Or the other son. What is his name?
Roku?
Roku, yeah, Roku.
But maybe we'll just find out in the next one, you guys.
Yeah, I hope all of this is clarified in the next one.
Yeah.
Will I even read the next
all of
one?
us are confused.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't read Renee Adieh before, so I don't know how she writes her books. But this, I feel, is pretty common of a first book series or of any sort because you get these things thrown at you and you don't get answers all the time. So this does not like mean that Renee Adieh is writing a shitty book by any means. I think that it writes a lot of intrigue. That could be a good thing. We'll just have to see how it gets wrapped up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very similar to the way that the Wrath of the Dawn is written. Like it has like the same sort of like a little bit of magic in the beginning. Magic is super important in the end. Lots of questions are left unanswered. Like it's very similar.
Did you read The Rose and the Dagger? Did it wrap up
Yeah,
good?
I really enjoyed the audiobook of the Rose and the Dagger. My thing with the my thing with Renee Adieh books is exactly what we're doing right now. Like I get very confused if I'm not in the time of reading it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's what, like I enjoyed the book so much, but like I said, I think I was really focused on Mariko's story with the Black Clan because I thought that was executed so well. Like it was interesting. Like one of my favorite things about Mariko is that like she wasn't like a badass warrior out of nowhere. Like she struggled so much to keep up with them, and like I thought that was really interesting. You know, she wasn't like your typical like Mary Sue.
Yeah, and I liked that she, you know, brought her own things to the table, even though she still also had to train at the same time. I liked that too.
No, I agree. I mean, I really liked Mariko as a main character personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked her too. So what do you think about the ending? Someone asked a while ago too about the drowning death of the Emperor. Did you like that ending?
Oh, the very end?
Yeah.
I thought it was weird. Okay, I thought it was weird that we were getting information, that we were getting points of view from that Emperor.
As the last chapter.
Well, like in general, I thought it was weird. It didn't show up for a long time, and then that's how we end, is in that perspective. And I was just like, it feels like a totally different story. Like I get that it's going to be important, and I like understand that, but it's kind of like when people write an epilogue from a completely different perspective than the rest of the book has been. I'm like, no, stop it. What are you doing? Yeah. That was my only complaint. Like I thought it was a cool ending. It was intriguing for sure, but also I was just like, why are you here?
Yeah, I agree. But I did really like it. I love ending books on cliffhangers. I don't know when the next one's coming out. And the shitty thing too is we don't know when the next one's coming out, and it looks like a lot of us are confused. So how long is it going to be until we have to?
Probably another year, because I don't think Renee Adieh is writing anything else at the moment. So I think this will probably be the next book that's published. So like, I'd say summer 2018 is probably like it's probably very similar to the time that it was published this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone said, or Nikki Amy, the ending of Aquar. I haven't watched that. Don't answer that. I haven't read it. Don't answer that question.
What about Aquar?
So she says it like the ending of Aquar, but I'm like, I haven't read it. Don't tell me.
Oh, no, I don't get the same feelings, Nikki Amy. Sorry.
Yeah, I get a little bit different. I think Aquar wrapped up a little bit more than
yeah, for sure.
Flame in the Mist is like, we are putting so many, like, we have so much more content left, whereas Aquar is like, these character stories over.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I completely agree. Somebody asked a good question. I don't remember where it is. Oh, I don't think I ever got an answer for, was Kenshin attacking the old men at the water hole, but not remembering doing it, and the fox is watching that too. And I feel like that was either one, he didn't actually do it, the fox did it and like knocked him out so that he wouldn't remember if he did it or not, so that he would have that second guessing.
Right.
Or something like possession of some sort happened where Kenshin did do it, but he didn't do it on his own accord. That's what I think happened. I think that's how we're going to be able to see Mariko and Kenshin have like a good relationship at the end. I feel like that's important.
Yeah, because Mariko was like super confused. She's like, it had to have been a good reason, or this doesn't make sense. Like,
yeah, because he follows the way of the sensei or something. Samurai, not sensei.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sensei.
I suck. I admit it. I do not know things.
You're doing pretty good, I must admit. So, yeah, any other questions? Like, we don't really have answers to questions. We're just kind of like theories.
Disgusting theories, yeah. I want to know, wait, what did you guys give the book? Because I wasn't here when you guys gave it a rating.
I gave it like 4.5 stars, I think. But I think talking about it now, I might have to lower it to 4 because I don't remember shit. It's in between like a 4 and a 4.5 star.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rated it 7.5. 3.75. Kind of, maybe 4, but I'll probably stick with 3.75.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I know Kelly she wasn't really into it, so she's
like
it. Yeah.
Did she like the audio of it?
She said the audiobook is really good, but that like she just wasn't in the mood for this book and it made her hard to get into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if it's the same narrator as the Wrath of the Dawn books, but she has really good audiobooks. And I also think that it's just it would have been like so hard to grasp as an audiobook. Like I would love to reread this as an audiobook, but I don't think I think I'd be way more confused if I went into it with an audiobook.
The only reason I think the audiobook would be great is because, as always, names that are hard to pronounce are great in audio. Like listening to The Daughter of Smoke and Bone, best thing I ever chose to do, because I talk about it with my sister Lauren, who's just reading it, and she says all the names wrong, which of course you say all of the names wrong. You don't know how to pronounce them. They're hard. Yeah. But I'm like, ha ha ha, I know.
Yeah.
Megan Markin asks, I do want to know thoughts on Ren and how he trains Mariko. It made me sad.
I did not like that at all. I want him to die. He needs.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah. I didn't even get good relief when he got stabbed or shot by an arrow or something happens when they're at Kenshin's, because Mariko right away is like, oh my god, he's one of us, like save him. And I'm like, no, he deserves to die. Yeah, like
terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I do understand the context of it being like this is like a super tough girl that you have to you have to work hard to be accepted.
That doesn't mean you have to be tortured.
I think it's very personal. Like it didn't feel like standard training procedures for them. Like it felt very, very personal. And that's
the same. Yeah, exactly.
Is that the same? Like getting pleasure out of it.
It felt like, because Okami is not like nice to her. He felt like the way that she should have been treated, as this outsider who maybe eventually will be an insider but is not yet an insider. He felt right. Like the way that he treated her was not nice, but it was not cruel. Ren felt like he was torturing her, and I did not enjoy that. And I want him to get some good revenge. I want to see him die, and I want to see Mariko not feel bad about it. I don't want her to do it though. Like I want the other side to do it, but I then want to watch him suffer a little.
Oh, can I say one thing that I forgot to mention?
Yeah.
I loved the scene in the beginning, like after the carriage is like on fire and like her maid has died, and when she gets out, she meets that man in the forest that is like being
creepy as fuck,
aggressive towards her, and she like stabs the guy with her.
Yes.
Like that's
I love that part.
See, it's like that's the kind of stuff I really enjoyed about this story. Like the some of the relations and some of like the magic and stuff, like I wasn't a big fan of, but like I like those sort of moments.
I also really liked the scene. Okay, wait, hold on. I have a question before I talk about this. In the scene when she falls from trying to get that poison stuff, she like falls into the water and Okami saves her, and then they kiss. He finds out that she's a girl. Did they have sex that time?
I don't think so.
Damn it! I don't
know. I had a vibe that maybe, but I couldn't.
The problem is YA.
Terrible at picking up on sex scenes in literature.
Yes, in YA especially.
His hips are pushing into me. I couldn't tell. Maybe I was wrong.
No, the reason that I think you're right, though, Emma, and I was just hoping I was right, but I think you're right, is that there's that scene after that. She says something like, I'm not a maid. And he says, oh, really? And he like kind of makes fun of the fact that she would even have to say it. But also, if they'd already had sex, she wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I just didn't want you to be right.
She's not a virgin, though.
Right. No, she's not. But like, I kind of wanted them to just fucking do it right after he saves her life and realizes she's a girl. That would be so hot.
Yeah, Lisa says she tells him that she was not in the second love scene, so I figured they didn't have first sex.
Yeah, I think so too. I just wanted to be wrong. Yeah.
I wanted to be wrong because it doesn't clarify if they're having sex or not. There is a huge difference between makeout sessions and
Well, and I mean, I
I'm
think
so bad about it.
I think that's part of the problem with reading YA, which, like, I love YA. I'm a huge fan of YA. I will always read a YA. But one of my biggest pet peeves about YA is that they do not specify when you're either having sex or you're just hardcore making out. There's no difference.
I think it's fantasy that is bad at it, because I've been reading a lot of contemporary lately that is like super explicit. Like, I am touching myself in my genitals right now.
Yeah,
and
true.
Fantasy is like there's a sensation.
Yeah. They like use so many weird metaphors, like sheathing the sword, which, okay, fun fact, we're going to get into this for a second, because one of the books that I read for the Bibliothon, I have not finished, but it's called Cunt.
Oh, yeah.
It's written by Inga Muscio, and it's all about taking the word back, because right now it's a bad word. Yeah. It's an expletive, and so the whole point is like taking the word back for ourselves, and so it's this huge feminist book, right? But one of the things that she talks about is, where was I going with this?
You're talking about Cunt.
We were talking about what?
You were talking about Cunt, and we were talking about YA sex scenes and how like they're not explicit enough.
Oh, sheathing the sword. That's what I was thinking. Okay, Fun fact, vagina, the word, comes from the sheath of a sword.
What?
Yes, it means a sheath, literally.
Wait, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm pissed. Because everyone's always making fun of Sarah J. Maas about her sheathing the sword things that happen in her books, which are disgusting, and I don't like them, even though I love Sarah J. Maas, but like, ew, creeps me out. But just so you know, the word vagina comes from the word that means the sheath of a sword.
That's really funny.
Which is part of why she says take the word cunt back, because it doesn't mean anything having to do with a sword or a penis or anything. It literally just means vagina.
It's really funny.
So, fun fact. Sorry, moving on.
No, I love it.
Gotta get on this.
I don't think they had sex the first time, but I think they did.
Looking at it now, yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of people agreed that it was like their relationship was sort of abrupt. You know?
True.
Yeah. Like I saw someone say earlier, like, oh, like I had wished that like they had kissed before it was revealed she was a girl, and I was like, I wish they did too, because it felt like there was a woman here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah. It did feel a little bit like, oh my god, you have boobs? Now let's fuck.
Yeah.
Or kiss, because they didn't fuck that time.
Supposedly.
Yeah, but like, how do you guys feel about their relationship in general, like where it is now? Because I personally think they complement each other pretty well.
I do. I really like them together. I like both their characters. I feel like they've grown so much as like going along together in the story. I think they complement each other. I like it.
I am nervous about a threesome, a love triangle happening. I think that Renee Adieh attempted to make sure that we didn't have that worry, because Ranmaru is in love with Okami's sister. Like, we saw that already before anything ever happens. So I think that my worry might not happen, but I think the way she wrote it, it could have easily been that if Okami's sister wasn't there, and it feels like it could become a thing, and I don't want it to.
Oh, I really hope not. I'm so
And it's just enough there, and maybe that's because Renee Adieh is writing a really good Ranmaru and Mariko friendship, and I'm overcompensating this like love aspect of it. It's possible, but I'm nervous. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, no.
I don't want it to happen either. Honestly, I would have preferred there to be more of a friendship between Mariko and Okami beforehand, because I feel like wasn't, and I like where it's going with Ranmaru, but I do not hope it's a love triangle.
Yeah, I don't know. To me.
Yeah. I agree too, though, Emma. I think that more of a friendship building, because it was such an easy story to do that with, especially like with the training and like all that stuff. It'd been so easy to do that. I do like them, but I agree. I think that if there was more friendship building, it would have been like a total heart for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think my thing with literature is like when two people meet and fall in love instantly, it doesn't bother me. But when like there's like no chemistry, and then all of a sudden they're like in love. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that we're still seeing them not in love yet. Like, I think that she is building this, like, I mean, they're infatuated, they're lusting after each other, but I don't think they trust each other completely
I
yet.
definitely don't think they totally trust each other.
Yeah, and so, like, I mean, I think she's doing an interesting thing with that, because it's not something you see every day where, like, they have sex, but they don't trust each other yet. Like, that order of things don't usually happen, especially in YA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested where that goes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hate lust, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
So are there any other questions or do you guys have any final thoughts or?
I really enjoyed it. I just wish that there were, like, I really, really loved the book while I was reading it. I just wish that, like, the information was, like, more retainable.
Yes, I think we all concluded that now for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it was so fun, but there's
Mhm.
some parts that, like, didn't click with me as much.
Yeah, I think it was definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
100%, definitely entertaining. But again, like super. Now, I mean, I'm a little bit more confused now, but I feel like when we get the second one, it's going to make a lot more sense. But I honestly am actually really more excited now after this live show because I love my magic systems. I love like that intensity. I love shapeshifters. I love that stuff. That's like my jam. And so now I'm like even more excited to, if it's done well, to understand where this goes. So I'm actually excited about the next one.
Corey Williams asks, what do you mainly want from the second book? I want more action and training scenes. I definitely want more action as well. Like, I really liked the training. I really liked the last scene with when like they're when Mariko is with the Black Clan and like Kenshin recognizes her and they're like on opposite sides. Like, I really liked those sorts of scenes. But yeah, that's what I want more.
I want to see more of the understanding of the magic.
Yeah,
I want to see more of, like, where the fuck did the consort get her magic from? Like, why does she have magic and not everyone has magic? I want to know. And I want to know how it works, and I want to know what it's going to do with the story.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with you, Cassie. I want to understand the magic system more, and I want to, like, dive deeper into that and then understand who's who in each character. And, like, I just think this world could be, like, super well built. But if it's a duology, too, it's just, like,
yeah.
How much is there?
I'm also super curious because the way that they described Roku and Raiden is the one who is super battle-y, right? And then Roku is the one that's super intelligent or something. And so the Emperor is talking about how they should rule together, but, like, the Empress doesn't like the fact that Raiden exists or whatever. So I'm curious to see how that goes too, like the political aspect of this story, because the mom, the consort, she just killed the Emperor. She hides it, obviously. But, like, that means that Roku, the intelligent one, is going to become the Emperor.
Yeah.
And also, like, Raiden doesn't seem that great of a person either.
Yeah.
Based on the way that he was reacting to Mariko and stuff in that big fight scene. So, like, I'm curious to see how much fucked up shit they end up doing with the Emperor and, like, how is it going to end up being resolved. So, politics.
I will say, like, with all of this, I kind of have high expectations because I want so many answers. So I'm a little nervous.
I know. Go ahead, Emma.
I was going to say, I also want to see more of Mariko's alchemy because I feel like that just wasn't focused on as much in the book. Like, it says in the beginning, like, oh, she's an accomplished alchemist and she has to leave that life behind her in order to marry the prince. And then we don't see it as much. We see it when she's making, like, the throwing stars, and then we see it again when she's, like, making the weapon.
The bomb things. Yeah.
And like, I would like to see it play a bigger role because although, like, the bombs were, like, a big plot point for the ending, like, I feel like I just need more. Like, I'd like to know Mariko better than where she is now. Like, I want to know more about, like, her as a character as opposed to, like, her role in this story, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I kind of, like, I kind of get like Merlin have you ever watched the show Merlin? I kind of get like vibes of like that for this book for some weird reason.
It does feel a little bit like medievalish.
Yeah. I agree, Emma. I would like to see a lot of that too.
I think people are asking me who killed who. The consort, I think, at the end. I'm pretty sure it was the consort that killed the emperor. At the very end, it's the last chapter.
Whoever Gemmy is. Who's Gemmy? The consort?
I think so.
It's Gen.
Actually, no, I think it's the empress that kills her.
Yeah, it's his wife.
Lisa and Things has corrected me. Yeah, the empress is the one that kills her. So, the name that starts with a K is the consort. She's not the one that killed the emperor. Thank you, Lisa and Things, and Sarah, for correcting me. I spoke wrong.
She was jealous of her and didn't want her there, right?
Yeah, and that's what's part of what's even more confusing is because we didn't get the empress's point of view, but we did get the consort's point of view. We did get the emperor's point of view throughout the book, towards like the middle, and then all of a sudden at the very end, the last chapter, we get the empress's point of view, and I'm like, wait, who the fuck are you? I don't know. I'm so confused. There are so many people.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, she couldn't be happy with the consort there. And then she like fakes it so that it seems like he just fell over.
Yeah, it definitely, I think it's definitely an interesting plot point to leave off on because like the Emperor of Japan just died. You know what I mean? Like, like so many people are saying like, I want more politics. I'm like, well, we're gonna get some because that's not something they're gonna be able to brush over.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see how this politics stuff goes. I'm curious to see if this will be like, because they don't have emperors anymore, and we don't know like when this exactly is taking place. So maybe this is going to be the end of the empire, or maybe I don't know. Like I have no idea, but it could be. They have lots of different ways to go with this political aspect of it.
There are a lot of unanswered questions.
I feel the same.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add, or?
Oh, I think that wraps it up.
Did we already do all of our like announcement things? That was late.
Well, we said like when we can recap. The winners for the Biannual Bibliothon, for our winners for the BookTube winners, will be announced eventually. We're going to go through all of the challenges. They will be announced soon. We'll announce them on the Biannual Bibliothon channel. I believe we're going to do a video on that. And then the Instagram challenges winners should start today. We're trying to get that going here. And then every day a winner will be announced. So day one's winner, Instagram today, day two tomorrow, etc., etc.
And then the blogs will start the following week.
Yeah, the blogs next Sunday, day by day again. So day one on the Sunday, day two on the Monday.
Yeah.
Last thing, Nikki Amy asks, when is the next Bibliothon roughly? And we don't have dates yet, but it will be the winter biannual Bibliothon, and we typically do them in January, like the first 2 to 3 weeks of January, I'd say.
We'll probably wait until around after the new year because we have a lot of December birthdays in our group, so we don't want to do it in December. And then January, the first year, is always crazy because of the new year. So we usually do it the second or the third week of January, but we don't have specific dates. We're also probably going to be changing the biannual Bibliothon. Instead of doing a Sunday to Saturday with a Sunday live show, we're probably going to either do it the Saturday to Friday, and then with a Saturday live show, or a Friday to... Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say here. Because we have now Australian hosts, Sunday live shows are really hard for them to get here because at 1 p.m. PST, it's only 6 a.m. on Monday for them. So it's really hard to get all of us involved in these live shows. So we're trying to make it easier for all of our hosts. So just so you know, the days will probably be changing as well.
Yeah.
And then did we announce our Seafarers live show? We don't have the date yet, right? But our Seafarers Kiss live show will be soon. And our next book is Moxie?
Yeah.
Yes!
Well, who is it by, Emma?
Jennifer Matthew. And if you're looking to buy it, she's doing a pre-order special right now where if you tweet her proof, she'll send you some Moxie swag. Which is
That's good to
Nice.
know.
We recommend.
Yeah. So Moxie is the August through August, September, and October book for the Biblio book club.
So you'll have like a month and a half to read Moxie, which is
because it comes out in the middle of September, I think.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we should have the Seafarer's Kiss in August. We just have to plan a date where we can all get together and talk about. I know a lot of us are excited about this one. I know me and Kelly are really excited.
Me too. It's so good. I just read it during the Bibliothon. Guys, if you haven't read The Seafarer's Kiss, go and find it, buy it, read it. Yeah, it's on.
Emma, you gotta read it. It's so good.
I'm going to. I'm looking it up in my library catalog.
Good. If you guys can't, it is a self-published, I think, book, or it's at least with a very small publishing company. So if you guys can't find it in the library, or if you don't have the money to buy it, look at Scribd, scribd.com. Sign up for their first month's trial and read it. It's on there, so you have to read it on an ebook, but you'll get a free month's trial and you can read it for free. And then if you really need to, then of course cancel your subscription. But like, that's a way to read it. And I just really want everyone to read it so that you guys can join us for the live show, because it's such a good book and it's super tiny. It's like this big.
I'm reading it on Scribd, and I'm actually really enjoying reading it on Scribd. It's actually a pretty good experience, but I just got the free trial just like you said. So I would highly recommend just doing that. Emma, you should just do that. That's what I'm doing.
I know like one of the random, like someone in my library system has it, so I just have to library.
Yeah, mine has it too.
Like it's not like my library doesn't have it, but my like a library near us has it.
Oh, okay.
Order it. So I think I might put in an order and then I'll be able to read it, or else I'll just do Scribd. So.
Awesome. Anything else? I think that's good for announcements.
Also, one more thing. Somebody asked if it's going to be the same week as Booktubeathon again. Our next one is in winter, and Booktubeathon doesn't have a winter round. It just happened to fall on the same week during the summer. We don't know if it will a year from now. We hope not, because we know that it's not ideal for everyone, but it just happened to be a coincidence.
Yeah. And usually we do our summer bibliothon in June. This year we did it in July, and that was partially because of everyone's school schedule and stuff. So like, we don't know for sure when we'll do our summer, but if we do it in our normal, more regular time, which is June, then it doesn't usually conflict at all, which is why we originally did it in June. So we're hoping that it won't conflict.
Well, what we could do too also, like, because you guys, I think we actually decided our dates in February last round, and then we could always decide early and then contact the Booktubeathon, just let them know our dates. So there's ways we can figure it out. But the winter there is no Booktubeathon, so we kind of have
they just do like the Christmasathon, which is just like 3 days or something. So it won't be as intense because they don't do video challenges and stuff during the winter anyways. So
cool.
For sure this one will be okay. Not too stressed out, guys.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for the live show. Yes. And thank you for joining the Bibliothon. We will get back with the winners. We are excited to go through all the videos. So.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.